So yeah, I just want to come back at you with another video. So for this video, this one is going to be a breakdown for Thursday, May 23rd. So funny enough, I did take the trade for this day. I was able to be behind the computer and take the trade. So for this day, we have news at 8:30 and 9:45, so something to be aware of. Now jumping right in with NAS, as you can see, prices continue pushing up, and then at least for the day, it was like a large dip in price, right? Like it just started going down, but that's fine because there's no break of structure, there's no fair value gap that was blasted through, like there's no signs for me to switch my daily bias. So but I'm my daily bias of being bullish, so I'm basically still bullish on this day. Nothing's changed, and that's the approach that I'm taking here. So with that bias in mind, I'm only looking for buys, I'm not looking for sells whatsoever. So here we have price, and this is price. This is a 9:15 and 9:30 candle. So at this point, we want to mark our buy side and sell side liquidity. So um, for sell side liquidity, we mark it here because this is the most obvious swing low that is available. I mean, obviously, we have virtually a double bottom right at this level. Right, you see how this is enticing supply and demand traders because or sorry, support and resistance trader because for them they see this as support, so they think buy, 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 buy. But obviously we're trading um market maker concepts. I don't want to say like smart money. I guess you could also call it smart money, but it's more like market maker concepts, right? So this is the liquidity over here. So at this point, and this is the funny part. So we don't really have buy side liquidity that we can mark just because this is literally the all-time high in the price, right? Like this is Thursday the 23rd, and we go into 1 hour time frame, right? Price has just been flying up. So this is literally like we're literally witnessing history, right? Because this is literally like the all-time high in price. So yeah, we don't have buy side liquidity because this is the buy side liquidity. So understanding that, and remember, it's not that big a deal because we want to see sell side get taken before price pushes higher. So that's where we're at. We basically it's yeah, it can't get any more simple than this. We want to see this level get taken before we take a buy. It's just that simple. Nothing more to think about. So at this point, right, this candle here, this is the 8:30 candle where the hunt begins for liquidity. It's the 8:30, and also right, we had 8:30 news, so this is also a news candle. So you see price pushing up and then going up and up and up, and then we start seeing price literally just start plummeting until this is 9:29 to 9:30. So the next candle, this candle right here, this large bearish candle, this is what's the 9:30 stock market open um candle is. Now remember, we still have a news event at 9:45. So I guess my rule of thumb, the way it is like I keep all of the news events at the back of my mind. Obviously, I have Forex Factory open, and if a trade setup presents itself before the news event and I'm confident in it, then I'll take the trade, but I'll put like half risk, right? Because we don't know, and obviously it depends on the news event. There's some news events that I just don't trade, like PPI, CPI. I don't trade those, right? This news event of just flash services and unemployment, like that's fine, right? Like so, if a setup presents itself before the news event, then I'll go in with like half risk, right? Because you don't know how aggressive the news event is gonna be, and you know things like that. But if you're taking a trade after the news event, then for me it's fine to go in like your normal risk. Whether if you normally risk 2%, then after news event, then you're fine risking 2%. If you want to go half risk before, then that's fine too, right? Because you want to be um uh a safer trade. Like you don't want to just always be aggressive, right? Like you want to build good habits when it comes to trading. So look at this after, cause look after 9:30 open, look at that. The candle just aggressively dip under this level. So Obviously, it's not a surprise to us that price decided to dip under this level here and clear it because that's what we had in mind for the 15-minute time frame, right? So price did that. Um, it almost took out this low. So let's just see what happens after. Remember, we still got the news at 9:45. Okay, boom. So remember all that liquidity that you know we see all the support and resistance traders saying, hey, buy at this level, buy at this level, it's safe, it's support, support. Well, guess what? The candle right here just ran right through it all, right? So if you had a position, right, then it got slashed right through. So that to me was also a good sign that price likely wanted to move higher, right? Because you're seeing all of the liquidity pools um basically get slashed right through. So you have that. Obviously, I'm essentially stalking price for a move higher, and this is 940, right? 941, 942, 943, 944, 945. So this candle here, this long wick, was a 945 candle. So obviously that candle came, made the lowest low of the session. So now I want to see it push higher. It made another dip. They were just tanking and tanking. But once again, I'm literally just stalking price for a bullish move up. So now, right, if I were to take a quick peek at price, where are the structure points, right? So where price is at right now, because we're already almost 10 o'clock, this is a high because the cancel left and the cancel right are lower, right? You have a high right here, you have a high right here, you have a high right here, you have, two highs up here, right? So these are all of the structure points for if price blasts through these levels, right, then we can consider it to be market structure shares. But obviously, where price is at, this is the most obvious or like the closest option here, right? So I were to keep going through, you guys see that price came down with this gold candle here, cleared the low here. We have one black candle, and then we see gold candle, and then a massive gold candle up. So this bullish candle here clearly takes out this high. So in my mind, the second I see price trade through there, I'm already thinking a market structure shift to go bullish. So I'm already thinking like, okay, this might be my opportunity to go higher. Now with this next candle, once I seen it close right here, the next thing I saw was obviously a massive fair value gap. So to me, all my confirmations are met, right? Sell side liquidity was taken. We obviously had buy side liquidity intact, and because this is literally the all-time high right here, price came down, it took out all the sell side, and then it made a quick dip, and then it just aggressively pushed up and broke structure. Now because structure got broken, we want to see a fair value gap left within the range from the displacement high to the displacement low, and in this case, right, we're seeing a gap left within the high and the low of the range. So that fits all of my confirmations to take a trade. So then, right, the entry is at the open of the fair value gap, stop loss obviously at the bottom of the low, and then final take profit is up here for a 1 to 5. Now remember guys, this is a big range, so what I would do, I would mark off the range and then see other places where we could use as targets, right? So remember, because we're taking it higher for a buy, I want to also begin to find targets above the 50% where I can, take partials. So you can see here, there's a high at this level. I'll mark it purple. You guys can see above 50%. This is liquidity here. Obviously have fair value gap here. Obviously have another fair value gap here. And these are also highs, right? That are available to take partials. So you could close off like 50% up here and then 80% here and then final target up here. So it all depends on how you want to approach it, but I just wanted to put that front of center for you guys so you can think about that as well when you're taking trades because it's super important to take partials. So anyways, this was the setup here. So then boom, this down candle here, this is what activates us. So we are in the trade at this moment. So now all it is just submitting to the trade, right? We have our analysis. Now we have to trust it and accept the result that comes about from trading. Um, Now once again, I let the trade run. I give it some room to breathe because I want price to clear a 5-minute high before moving my stop loss to break even. Now, some traders, they would see this aggressive bullish candle and then they would instantly move their stop loss to break even because price started running away. But for me, I want to see a 5-minute high um get taken so then I can move my stop loss to break even so then it could essentially be like safe, I guess you could say. So I guess technically, right, this does count as like a 5-minute high, but at least when I was trading it, I didn't really count that as a 5-minute high. So I left my position still open like this, like with the stop loss in place, right? As you can see, I just went down. If I moved my stop loss to break even, I would have got taken out of break even. But now with price like this, if I go to 5-minute, right, you clearly see this is 5-minute high. So at this point, with I put this black ray, we see price go above that because once it goes above that, then I'll move my stop loss to break even, and then I'll also take partials. Now, with this being a 1 to 1.1.5, that's pretty decent risk reward. So at that point, I didn't want to be greedy. I figured, you know, at a risk reward like that, I would gladly take off 50% because that's almost a 1 to is 1.5, so it's almost a 1 to 2. So like for me, I don't mind taking off more out of my position and then moving my stop loss to break even. If you're taking in partials, your account is growing regardless. So no reason to be greedy. So price continued, and then obviously with this candle here, you see that it went through this high. So at this point, I moved my stop loss to break even. I took off 50% of the position, and then I was letting the rest run right for um for these highs up here, fair value gap, these highs, fair value gap, right? These were locations I was gonna take partials. But unfortunately, price just came down, reversed against me, and went in the opposite direction. So this obviously the trade didn't fully go to plan how I anticipated, right? Because my final target was up here. I did manage to put my position break even, so it was a risk-free trade, and I took off 50% of the position. So I basically made in 75, like 0.75 risk reward. So I almost made a 1-to-1 on this trade here with just partials. This is what I mean. Like if someone held this trade trying to take it to the full target and didn't move their stop loss or manage their risk, they would have taken an unnecessary loss. Or like, you know, yeah, they would have taken a loss and not have gotten anything. Right? If you had taken a partial and then didn't move your stop loss and just kept it in place to try to get to the final target, then probably still would have walked away with some profit. But priority number one with trading is always to protect their account, and then priority number two is to profit. So in this case, I did both. I walked away with growth and protecting my account. So win-win situation. Um, Obviously something is better than nothing, right? And there's gonna be some days where you only take some partials. There's gonna be some days where your target hits like your full TP, but you don't always want to just have the expectation that it's gonna happen every single time. So you also want to like do your best to manage a trade and take wins, like low-hanging fruit whenever it's given to you. So that's pretty much the breakdown for Thursday, right? I took the trade and that's pretty much exactly what I did. Took the entry here, and yeah, I took off half the position up here and protected the accounts, protect the position risk free. So walked away with some partials and profit.